In studio right now, let me talk to him before we actually have him perform, is the Cleveland legend, artist, musician extraordinaire, Mr. Alex Bevan.
You know, there are days I feel more legendary than other days. This is one of those days where I just feel like a guy.
I understand, Alex, and I really appreciate you coming down here to the studio, and you've seen everything. I'm sure you've been around, and you've performed at all the great venues. And what keeps you going after all this time? And you're so good at it.
Well, I've seen half of everything once, and I'm waiting for the repeat, which will be getting me.
Yeah, that's good. And you obviously love it. I watch you on stage. I saw you at Bar 107 and other places, and you just love what you do.
I'm very fortunate that somehow I ended up doing something that I truly love, and somehow I'm able to cobble together a living. And now I'm too old to change. The only real chance I have for advancement is if it snows later today, my IQ will go up 8 points and everybody else's will go down 5. So, I'm just a guitar player hippie.
Where did it all start? I mean, what you remember the first time you picked up a guitar, you began strumming and go, hey, I'm a guitar player. I want to be a rock star.
I never had that thought.
No, okay.
But what I did think was in about 1965, back before the Dead Sea was even sick, I was at a little coffee house called The Well. There was a young lady from Cleveland Heights by the name of Toby Tannenbaum, and she played a song by Billy Ed Wheeler called Coal Tattoo. And it's like one of those nostril flaring, dig in your toes protest song kind of things about coal mining in West Virginia. And I thought, man, that's really cool. And she has really nice eyes and really long hair. I bet I could play guitar too. And that kind of started it. And so within a year, I was kicked out of the Shaw High Band for playing harmonica instead of the French horn. And that kind of started it. Then I started working in Irish bands. I worked with Gusty and Sean, the legendary Gusty Hervey, gosh love her, and Sean Moore. They hired me to play at the old Fagans, and I think that I was part designated driver and one part rhythm guitar player, but that kind of got me started. And from there, I hung out in Le Cave, Farragher's Back Room, a lot of the folk places. And this was all before I was out of high school. And then after I went to college for a couple of years at Akron U, I decided that maybe I should go to Nashville and learn the craft.
And what did you learn in Nashville?
I learned how to mop floors at the Baptist Hospital second shift.
I've been there.
And I worked a very short period at a time for Tree Publishing. And I learned that in those days, Nashville is such a great city now. It's like so cosmopolitan and everything's happening there. Well, back in the 70s, it was a little more redneck, and people would say howdy on the street, and I'd go hi, and immediately I'd be busted. They'd know I was Yankee, but somehow I ended up on the college coffee house circuit. And I traveled around being a folkie, and at one point, I started having a band in Cleveland, and it was all pretty organic. I don't want to say that there was a plan.
It just kind of evolved.
One step stumbling to the next one.
But you have talent. You've always had talent, and you've created such a cult following, and people that follow you really love you. They think the Alex Bevan, the sun rises and sets on Alex Bevan.
I hope not.
Is the Skinny Little Boy from Cleveland, Ohio, is that your favorite signature song, or are there others?
Well, Skinny is just kind of like the good friend who shows up every night with a six-pack and a hamburger. There's strangely enough, in the last 45 years, I've written a couple other songs. The new recording that I have, Boomer, there are a couple on there that I'd say would define my current state of mind. One of which is Boomer, of course, But there's there's so much that really just goes to the moment of what are you singing at the moment, and that's your favorite song.
Gotcha. I understand. What do you like to do in your spare time to keep yourself?
I don't have any spare time. I don't. I mean, my wife makes sure that I'm occupied. You know, we had a bread bakery for a while. We closed that down. There are other things looming, so I'm doing everything I can to keep that guitar in my hand right now, because then I won't have to do something like rake the grass or pick up sticks.
Gotcha.
Or let's see, I have to dig out the sump. There's a header in the porch that needs to be replaced, and you're looking at the least handy guy in the world. But you know, I'm kind of like I'm kind of like the idiot savant, you know, of home construction. I can like take it all apart and then look at it and go, I know it can go back together. And then I call one of my friends in the trades, and you know, they teach me. Well, they help me put it back together.
Let's run down your concert schedule coming up. Where are you going to be in the next month or so?
I'd have to look on my own schedule. I know that. Where am I? I am somewhere this weekend.
This is March 1st today.
Yeah,
so.
I figured you would have looked that up.
Well, I wanted you to tell us.
Oh, okay.
Because it's always better when the artist tells you.
You know, self-promotion has never been one of my great things.
Okay.
A friend of mine told me I'm a great songwriter, but a terrible self-promoter.
I did look it up before. I did not write it down, but I always let the artist. And how can they get your music?
You know, Barnes & Noble has it as far as I know. And you can go to alexbevan.com. You can go to iTunes. You can, that's... all these things are possible. Hey, you know where I am? This Saturday, March 5th, Candlelight Winery in Garrettsville, Ohio. It's a good little place, good food. Then a week from tomorrow, I'm at Zeppi's Newberry Tavern. Great pizza, even better beer, and Neil, the bartender, will take care of everyone, including me. I always hire a driver for that gig. And then I'm returning to Berea, Ohio at the Eastland Inn on March 12th, which is a Saturday night. And then Saturday, March 18th, I'm at Nouveau, which is the old John Palmer's in Concord. And boy, the food there is wonderful. Then I'm down in Milan at the Wonder Bar. And then I am out of town for 2 weeks. I'm going down to Jekyll Island, Georgia, where I will play 2 nights at a little tavern. Just under the radar, and the rest of the time I will be either fishing or eating barbecue or drinking and picking with my buddies.
Sounds good, Alex.
There you go.
All right, we're going to take a little break. We'll be right back in just a minute. Alex Bevan, our special guest here on the Ray Carr Show and WCSB Cleveland.
Ow! I want to tell you, we're going to call this one Have Another Laugh on Cleveland Blues. They say the best things in life are here, and though the skies are very seldom clear here, we got a city full of dreams, and we call our city Cleveland. It's the best location in the nation, temporarily caught in a bad situation, from the council chambers to the city hall. It seems they finally see the writing on the wall. Projected layoffs in the bunches, while at political lunches the topic of discussion ain't elections, it ain't the Russians, it goes whose fault's the default, the city sits with empty vaults. CEI gets so muni, cause we ain't got that do-re-mi, and a city cannot stand if it's divided. But Cleveland's always been east and west sided. Oh, a little schizoid perhaps, but then we got the flats, steel mills, smokestacks, and chemical urns, and the only damn river in the world that burns. It's the home of Howard the Duck and the Kilbassie Kid. It's where Ziggy and Dorothy Fulltime also live. It's the rock and roll capital of the world. It's plain, it's where the Cleveland Orchestra got its name. It's still full of old world charm, you see? Charming mediocrity. What I'm trying to say is we have a nice little city here on the east side. We have Little Italy, great spaghetti and goodbye Danny Green. Little Israel, also known as Cleveland Heights. And we got Little Poland, sometimes known as Parma. And suburbs so geographically neatly attached so as to make a picture on the map. Whoa, if our city planning should draw your perusal, just see how they plan this year's snow removal. strange or crave bizarre. The Midwest Oz is what we are. We have the first black mayor of a major American city. We have the first American city with a mayor who set his hair on fire twice while dedicating a bridge. And it's the only city with a landmark tower that is terminal overlooking a lake that is eerie. And it's the only city that has more police chiefs than Indians. Cleveland Indians, that is. It's where we don't know where our basketball games will be played from week to week, and it's where busing broke down along with the school board, and it's the only city in America where the former mayor's wife couldn't have lunch with Mrs. Gerald Ford because it would interfere with her bowling night, and it's where currently members of city council are under indictment for bribery in some sort of carnival kickback scandal, and where the council president, after indictment, walked into council chambers and he received a standing ovation. And it's also where the mayor beat the recall by 236 votes and declared it an overwhelming victory. Yeah! So I'm gonna tell you one more thing. I got one more thing to say. If you got money in your pants and a wild hair up your sleeve, then you grab yourself a freighter and cruise to Cleveland. We'll watch Dennis the Kucinich, the people's mayor to the finish. Appeal to you, appeal to me, to the FCC on local TV. We all hope the city doesn't go down. It's just clutching at straws like men who drown. And I know we're gonna make it through. We're gonna make it proud and smiling too, cause we can laugh at ourselves. How about you? How about that, America? We'll call this another laugh on Cleveland Blues. You laughing? I'm laughing. One laugh on Cleveland Blues. La, ba, ba.
That song was written, let me guess, in I don't know for sure, 77?
78. The record says
which was it? No, it was actually it was written in, I think, the fall of 78. Would that have been right?
Yeah. I thought 77, 78. A lot of words in that song, and it was very funny and very good. How long did it take you to pen that one?
Oh, I don't know. I think it took about 3 beers.
That's extraordinary.
The funniest part of that song was that I wrote that song, and at the time I was wintering on Kelly's Island that year, and I had rented a house right next to the water tower on Division Street, and I got a call from some guy named Scott Simon, who was working for public radio. And he said, hey, the people at WMMS said, you have a song about Have a Laugh on Cleveland Blues. I want a copy of that to put on National Public Radio. And I said, wow, okay. And I thought, well, how am I going to record this? So I basically took a cassette recorder, and I took the microphone and I hung it from the drop ceiling and used a couple thumbtacks and some pipe cleaners, and God knows what those pipe cleaners were used for. And I hung the microphone there, and then I recorded it. And the next day I got on an airplane, which is how you got from Kelly's Island to the mainland. I flew Griffin Airlines, got in my car, drove to the Hollenden House, which is no longer there in Cleveland. It's no longer there. There's a great psychic vacuum where those rooms with the mirrors on the ceiling once were.
Oh, I remember.
And Scott Simon was there, and that was the beginning of that song.
Outstanding.
I think it's a great song.
How much national publicity did it get?
You know, it got a bubble. It got a blurb in Newsweek. You know, I've bubbled at the top of the small time for a long time, and that's a groovy thing. You know, there's no pressure. It spoke to this community, and one of the thing that I've enjoyed is between Skinny Little Boy, Have a Laugh on Cleveland Blues, and Grand River Lullaby. That's the little tripod that has established me in this region. And at one point, I made a decision that I wasn't going to live in Nashville, and I wasn't going to live in New York, and I was going to be a regional artist. You know, and watching some of the examples of people like John Bassett and out of Chicago, Steve Goodman, guys who, figured out it was it was good to have roots and not go chasing a dream to the point where life passes you by.
With that said, would you like to play a few songs?
Sure. How many would you like?
Let's play a couple. I'll tell you what, Alex.
Let me go get my guitar. Hang on.
Alex Bevan, our special guest, live right here in studio on the Ray Carr Show on WCSB Cleveland. Alex has been gracious enough to come on down, and he will play some songs for us. And maybe he'll, well, I'll tell you what. We'll let Alex play whatever he wants. He's the boss.
Keep talking.
And Alex is going to entertain you like never before. And this is
like
usually
never before. Like
never before. That's the magic of radio, because we create images in people's minds. We're all dressed in tuxedos, sipping fine Dom Perignon right now.
Ooh. Goes well with the caviar and the lobster tails.
Yeah, we're having that after the show.
And I was thinking about Slimans.
Yum.
This is better. We'll take care. We have an unlimited budget at WCSB. We're living high off the hog. And folks, if you'd like to talk to Alex, would you take a few phone calls?
Sure.
All right. Well, I'll tell you what. We're going to let Alex play a song or two. If you'd like to talk to Alex, you can give us a call at 216-687-3515. We'll let Alex take it over now.
I sat down, I wagged my face all around. He caught me smiling into my hand. Look at that old jukebox filled with country rock, man. They used to have a one-man band, but just a cactus kiss will serve to wet my whistle. I got a Caribbean theme, a slow dance, I fall into a trance. Well, a Caribbean theme says, how did my keel get landed so far from the waves that roll? Look at me just stranded again, right here on these mahogany shoals. Right here on these mahogany shoals. 2, 3, 4. Here come two more struggling through the front door, shaking off the sunny shine blues, pushing back their ball caps and checking out the pleasure crafts, ready for a happy hour cruise. Ooh, she's a bona fide bar star, sipping from her honey jar. She got that Cheshire cat smile, Buccaneer tattoos and peekaboos. These boys will be stranded for a while, singing, how did their keels get landed so far from the waves that roll? Why am I just stranded again right here on these mahogany shoals? Here on these mahogany shoals. It might kill a younger man. It'll only ding my prop a little. If I'm stranded and I'm high and I'm dry, I'm only damaged in the middle. Twist one. Sunsets, a gold doubloon, and a honeymoon. You could take me on a coconut wind. I just want to be back on old Jekyll Island in Georgia with my old friends. I might be there a week, maybe just all day. I hope I'll be a never left. Oh, what more can can I say? Honey, how did our keel get landed so far from the waves that roll? Look at us, stranded again right here on these mahogany shoals. Right here on these mahogany shoals. Right here.
Well, very good, Alex. I enjoyed that. Excellent job.
It's all true. Right?
David Krause on the CD was on harmonica.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
And I noticed there's a song for Mr. Stress.
There is. There is.
And he was a very popular figure in Cleveland.
You know, he's a buddy. He's a good friend.
Tell me about him, please.
You know, we were talking about you know, kind of what led me to playing guitar and stuff. And I actually met Bill Miller, Mr. Stress, at that same little coffee house. He took me under his wing for a while. He introduced me to guys like Jimmy Reed and B.B. King, and, you know, my little white bread brain that grew up on the corner of Shawview and Elm in East Cleveland had only really experienced Muzak and Mitch Miller and a little
Lawrence Welk.
Yeah, and Peter, Paul, and Mary, you know. And all of a sudden there's like all this R&B, and I'm going like, wow, you know. So
there's all this new stuff.
Yeah. So Bill was one of the first guys that I quote unquote jammed with, you know, and I think I knew about 3 chords at that point, which is perfect if you're going to play the blues, you know. So standing on a corner, wearing old Paul Butterfield shoes, looking all around for Sonny Boy Williams hot on the trail of the blues. Neon lights, they sizzle, it's drizzling down outside the uke, and the band is sitting up and getting ready to play, and the bartender turn up the juke, and a cigarette smoke was heavy, and the young girls wore their best. It's a blue jean crowd, Cleveland proud, saying, yes, 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 Mr. Stress. Back when the flats were something before that buzzard flew, there were 2 big shoulders and a flannel shirt hot on a trail of the blues. Don't you hear, don't you hear, don't you hear that work song, baby, make it moan. Your feet just got to move when the melodies start to flow. And old Mike on a piano and a drummer Pete, he's the best. Jean crowd, Cleveland proud, saying yes, 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 Mr. Stress. Are you ready for a good time? Hear that band just howl. Are you ready for a great time? Hip, Billy, Billy, now, yeah. Step back in time with me a while to a place of the rhythm and the blues. where a man laid down a shovel hot on a trail of the blues. Take a minute to remember the place from where you came. Don't forget the faces, and don't forget the name where the cigarette smoke was heavy and the young girls wore their best. There's a Cleveland crowd saying yes, 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 yes. Mr. Stress.
As they say in France, très bien.
Yeah, that was great.
Très bien. Very well. Very nice. Excellent job, Alex. I really like that song a lot.
Thank you. Yes.
I really like that one a lot. Mr. Stress, he'll never be forgotten. In fact, they had a tribute to him shortly after he passed here, and I didn't know him very well. I knew of him. Mm-hmm. So, there's a lot of our listeners out there that knew him very well. So it's good that you wrote it. This is about him, so it's nice.
Yeah, well, and Colin DeSalt organized that. It was at the Lucky Dog East is where they held it, but that's the old Euclid Tavern.
Yes.
They cleaned it up. They probably got pressure hoses to get all the nicotine off the walls and stuff.
Yeah.
They probably boarded up the downstairs bathrooms, but that place was legendary back in the day, and it's building new legends now. It's kind of like one of those things like the Barking Spider, where it's an established part of the Cleveland Foundation and you know what I mean, the heavens.
Yeah, got it.
Firmament.
Firmament,
yeah. Somehow I had ferment in my firmament, and
gotcha.
I paid $12,000 for this stupid, silly Irish nose job, and now my mouth quits. I can't believe it.
Alex, it's all okay. It's all good. It's all good. Let's hear, if you'd like to, maybe do one more off this CD.
Sure.
Or whatever else you like.
Oh, I got that. Yeah, hang on.
Okay. And by the way, the CD is called Boomer, a utopian memoir.
Keep talking, I'm tuning.
Alex Bevan and David J. Young. And this CD is available everywhere, correct?
Everywhere you can buy it, yeah.
Okay.
Get it on iTunes.
You can get it on iTunes. Okay. Sounds good to me. Alex Bevan, our special guest, live in studio. It's much easier to do it this way than over the phone.
Yeah. I'm going to push this out to Michael Heaton, wherever you are this morning.
Yeah, we called him. I don't know what happened.
And hey, baby, I'm a boomer. Yes, I am. I'm surfing at the edge of my Medicare plan. I might live forever because I think I can. It's my perspective, you understand. I should have thought of this stuff sooner, baby. I'm a boomer. And I'm a Chevy man, but I drive a Dodge. Still got vinyl from Ludlow Garage. Used to clean my stash on the Fillmore East. Me and the brothers just dancing with the beast. Skydog trucks and a great big tuber. Baby, I'm a boomer. True. Spinning wheel going round and round. Skylab orbits the Serpent Mound. Asia raises a cup of soy. John Lennon sings with love and joy. Snow White, dwarves, and the Wizard of Oz, they run through my dreams because madmen, admin, and marketing flies. Back in the day, it just was what it was. I'm here to substantiate that rumor, baby. I'm a boomer. You talk about nostalgia, dude, I lived it, every little detail, just forget it. It's sick, it's dope when you finally get it. It'll spin your head in a New York minute. Shots and beers and a covert nooner. Baby, I'm a boomer. Spinning wheel going round and round. Coltrane hit with a wall of sound. Warhol called it a can of soup. John Lennon sang about love and truth. We got suspicious lyrics for your state of mind. Do you think there's any other kind? Politically correct as you'd expect with National Geographic sex. And David Crosby out there on his schooner. Baby, I'm a boomer. We got the age of Aquarius and superstar Jesus. It's Congress saying you should just believe us with a brand new Dylan on your iTunes every day. What was wrong with the old one? Anyway, remember when we still had knobs on the tuner? Baby, I'm a boomer. You know, rapping just happened where the poetry grew, with the beatboxes blasting at a hip-hopping crew in the face of the bibbity-bobbity-boo. Occupy just to fly and create a place to jump, cast past the nail gate of fate, to lift up, to look out to where things got lost, something of value that rock and roll tossed away. And it's all about the buns, it's all about the jelly, the wheels and the grease and the few and the many. You get in front or you stay behind. From the top to the bottom, it's hard to find. Better keep your sense of humor. Baby, I'm a boomer. Spinning wheel going round and round. Skylab orbits a serpent mound. Asia raises a cup of soy. John Lennon sings with love and joy. Bum 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 did it what a bum 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 did it won't bum bum did it won't bum 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 baba.
There's one of my favorite songs. That's outstanding. Alex, I have never heard that before, and I really like that a lot.
Well, thank you. Thank you.
I mean, every word in that was very poignant. You hit the nail on the head. You really did.
Thank you. Thank you. Well,
excellent song. And this is off the Boomer album.
Yeah, that's the title song.
Love it, man. Love it. Alex, let me ask you about the first. Do you remember the first recording you ever made?
Yeah.
What was it?
I made it in my dad's garage on a woolen sack recorder. It was a song that I made up on the spot called Down Doggy.
Down Doggy.
Yeah, it kind of went like, every time my doggy comes around, I tell my doggy, Please get down, there's a down doggy, down doggy, down. You know, we lived, my mom was a Baptist choir piano player, so, you know, we'd go to the garage to get crazy. You know. Yeah, so anyway, so the dog, her name was Tina, and she was like a little kind of a shepherd mix, you know. So
Right.
that was it. Then there was... I went to audio recording, which is now out in Bentleyville, but at the time it was, I think it was 6th and Rockwell in the basement of the WKYC building, whatever Channel 3 was in those days. But anyway, so that's kind of what happened.
Yeah, that's pretty cool.
Yeah, so as I'm filling in here, you know, what's happened is a guy has showed up. He's from the Lucky Dog, and he's got a bunch of Chicago dogs. And we just Ray Carr was saying you can't bring Chicago hot dogs, even if they are footlongs, into the studio. You have to go back and get Cleveland Polish boys. Then you come back and you can get the perks.
Really?
Yeah. So.
Oh, interesting. Alex, we had a request off the air.
What was that?
Jazz Bowl or Jazz Bowl?
Jazzbo.
Yeah, Jazz Bowl.
Okay. That's it?
Yeah. Jazz Bowl, yeah.
Jazzbo, you're moving slow. You got your mind on a jelly roll. The young girls, they take their toll. It's a fascinating playing, waiting, puppy loving, syncopating. Jazzbo, you dress for style. You're not too slick, you're not too wild. It's your basic blues. A B-flat smile, don't you know? It ain't the show. It's how you let your feelings go. Jazzbo's got his peace of mind. He's hit his stride and he's feeling fine. Feeling fine and laughing now. Running through that New York crowd and the taxis scream. The subway's loud and Jazzbo's rolling home. The people on the street, you know they're all the same. They take your money, honey. They speak your name. They don't slow down, some are never change. Some are pushing, some are shoving. Others gonna stop at nothing. Everybody got a low down line. They're gonna let you, they're gonna waste your time. Or they don't stop till the sky starts crying. Maybe one time they look up, they'd find Jazzbo rocking on his peace of mind. He's hit his stride and he's feeling fine. Feeling fine and laughing now. Running through that New York crowd and the taxis scream. The subway's loud and Jazzbo's rolling home. Jazzbo, you know, to keep the city going, he played that sax till the bell starts blowing. He's leaving the cool cats out in the snowland like the sun in the spring. The horn starts to sing. Jazzbo, you got it made, and drums and bass and a place to play. And everybody hear what the music say. Jazzbo's rolling home. Jazzbo's got his peace of mind. He's hit his stride and he's feeling fine. Feeling fine and laughing now. And running through that New York crowd. The taxis scream, the subway's loud, and Jazzbo's rolling home.
one of my favorite songs you do.
Well, thank you. That was actually written on the corner of Walk and Don't Walk in New York City. That's where that started. There was a songwriter from Cleveland, from Shaker Heights, by the name of Catesby Jones. And Catesby and I went to New York City together, and we were both trying to shop songs around, and we kind of got a little lost for a while. It's easy to get lost in New York City if you don't know anything about New York City,
right?
And even after years of discovering parts of Lower Manhattan and Brooklyn, I just still don't know anything about it. But gosh, we had a great time. And Catesby, he went on he wrote a couple songs for Travis Tritt. He did some work with Chet Atkins. And now
I love Chet Atkins.
He's now living in Wilmington, North Carolina. Yeah. And he and his wife, Mimi, and he's still making great music.
That's good to hear. You're listening to The Ray Carr Show. Alex Bevan, our special guest. Alex, we had 2 calls off the air. One of them, the gentleman wanted to know, do you still stay in touch with the WMMS gang?
Some of those guys, yeah, I do. I run into Flash Ferences every now and then. I know he was on the show here recently.
Yes.
Jeff Kinsbach and I stay in touch. Johnny Gorman is over at Oh Wow Record.
Yeah.
Oh Wow. And, there's another guy, Dan Garfinkel, who he and I are Facebook friends. We keep threatening to have lunch together. He's out in Pittsburgh. So I stay in touch with the ones that I can, and the rest of them, I just love them from afar.
That's
Those
good.
were good years.
And one other person, he said, ask him about the Guinness Book of World Records.
I created it.
Okay. You created it.
I did. That was a world record there.
Wow. Can you elaborate?
No, that's it. God, I just did a Don Trump, didn't I? No.
Yes, you did.
That's it.
That's it. All right.
We're going to win.
We're going to win. That's all you need to say. You're listening to WCSB Cleveland. Alex, would you like to do one more, maybe?
I got time for one more.
Okay.
Yeah, I have actually 2 songs in mind. One is very pretty. The other one is not quite as pretty. Or there's a third song that is it's really depressing, and it takes about an hour to sing.
We don't want that.
It's kind of like Evangeline, only put to music. You ever?
Oh yeah.
Yeah. The Forest Primeval, etc. All right, well, here we go.
Something happy.
Something happy. This song is called Master Mechanic. It's on the Boomer album. People think it's about Pat Daly. It is. When I met Pat Daly, it was at the Beer Barrel in on Put-in Bay, and I walked in, and he and I were going to get together, and it was about noon, and he was sitting there. He had a cowboy hat on, and his spine was curved like a question mark, and his eyes, his beady little eyes, were looking at a bottle of Heineken. And I walked in and I said, Pat, hi. And he looked at me and said, you can't drink all day unless you start early. Would you like a beer too? And I said, well, of course I would. And we sat and we talked, we became great friends. So here's a song dedicated to my buddy. See that guy sitting over there? He's a so-so guy with so-so hair. But what up with this mystery man? He ain't got a clue, he ain't got a plan, he ain't got a knack for long division, launching probes or nuclear fission. But the ladies love his every twitch. They all start to squirm, they all start to itch. He ain't a honk, he ain't a slob. He's an average Joe with an average job. But the ladies love him cause he keeps them stunned. He's a master mechanic with a magic tongue. A master mechanic with a magic tongue. They say, talk to me. Come on now. It's all in the tongue, it's not in the hands. He doesn't use his fingers to tickle your glands. He make you squirm, he make you insane. He know how to work that part of your brain. He's 911 chest palpitations, Harley Davidson good vibrations, hard as a rock, gentle as a lamb. He's a shucks, honey, come hither, man. He's a finger in the socket of electrocution, a primal force of elocution. He's all for play, he's all for fun. He's a master mechanic with a magic tongue. They say, talk to me, baby. Talk to me. Talk to me. Baby talk. Woo! He's Mondo Mojo 2-for-1. He's a sweet repeat to get it all done. He talk the lipstick off your faces. He make you think you need knee braces. A little bit of this and a whole lot of that. Hip-hop rap and a touch of scat. When he get you blushing and starting to glow, that's when he start talking really slow. They say, talk to me, baby. So, Ray, that's the story. That's all there is. He never talks dirty. He talks like it is. He talks to the beat of a different drum. He's a master mechanic with a magic tongue. They said, talk to me. Talk to me.
Wow. Holy mackerel. Thank you, Alex. The great Alex Bevan, ladies and gentlemen. Wow. You are a master songwriter and an entertainer, and it's such an honor to have you up here.
Well, Ray, it's nice, and I hope you invite me back. I hope I didn't get kicked out.
No,
oh,
never.
Gosh, no.
I think all generations should really take the time to experience Alex Bevan.
Mm-hmm.
All generations. Wow. All right,
generations.
Yeah.
You have a real gift for lyrics, you know?
Well, I think I get that from my mom and dad.
You're very, very loquacious.
Wow. I don't even know what to say now.
Well, you should. Well, it's a compliment.
I knew.
Well, Alex, thank you very much. We're going to get back to music, and Alex Bevan, our special guest. And listen, happy trails.
Hey, thank you very much, Ray. Thanks, Cindy. Good to see you guys.
Thank
you so much for inviting me in on a what? This is Tuesday. That's right. I almost said Saturday. Because I always go to Slyman's on Saturdays. You know, it's
right.
Like, you know. So you know where I'm headed next?
I know where you're headed next.
Aladdin's.
Oh.
You gotta love them, folks. You gotta love them. We'll talk to you. Thank you to Mr. Alex Bevan for being on the Ray Carr Show today. Great job, Alex, and I hope you, the audience out there, enjoyed that.